Hello world, I'm LJ and this is LJ Goes Sweden, and Tesla has finally announced features that are coming in the Christmas update 2025. And there are a few that I really want to experience myself once I have this update, but as always we go through everything that is publicly available right now, and once I have it, I hope that we even have more than just the stuff that Tesla announced, some hidden stuff as always. But let's start with number one. Supercharger site maps. And this is something that sounds on paper really interesting. Once you drive to a supercharger or you're just like on the map, you're looking for a supercharger, there is supposed to be an option that you can view the site map. This is based on what I have here, not available for every supercharger. I think they have to actually manually create something for this 3D visualization. But it sounds very cool. You see a 3D visualization of how many stalls are there, how many stalls are blocked, how many are available for charging. You also see the spots that are reserved for handicap, maybe even for trailers. And just this image that we have looks very cool. Of course, for the people who have the auto park, it seems like you can basically just click on the spot that is available there. Maybe when you're nearby the supercharger, it could be just that you have the visualization, you see the amount of cars, and then basically once someone drives off, the car disappears in the visualization, and once someone starts charging, the car just blobs out of nowhere. That is maybe the weakest, but the most craziest would actually be to see someone has disconnected and then you have a little driving off animation for cars. It would be really awesome. We have to see what it is, but I'm very excited. I am expecting a lot, but I'm scared at the same time that this is probably not going to be available outside of America for a lot of chargers. I'm not sure, maybe they have done good that it comes for a lot of countries. We have to see in reality. Talking about navigation in general, we have also improvements coming up for the navigation. And here we have a lot of minor updates that Tesla is bringing to our cars. First of all, you can now save your home or work location by basically just going there on the map, setting the pin, and then say this is my home, or set this as work. I personally didn't even know that this doesn't exist. Because yes, I have my home and my work address saved in my car, but I never knew that this is only available once you're basically parked there at the location and then you set it. So it's nice that this is now also working. Of course, very minor but convenient thing if you don't want to drive to work to basically set the location, but usually you do it. So for me, I would say it's a nice addition, but yeah, you do it once and then it's done. And there are more features, however. For example, you can now reorder your favorites, because I noticed that I never use my favorites. I always rely on basically the Tesla system that figures out what I might probably want to drive to based on the day of the time or something like this. And that works usually pretty well. But I have a lot of favorites. Scrolling through them is always a pain. So it is nice that you can reorganize them. I'm very curious how they're gonna do it, if it's the similar thing when you have multiple destinations and you can just slide them and then save or something. I think it's gonna be similar to that. So we have to see. It is nice for people who use the favorites a lot. Then something else that I don't understand is Tesla is recommending me my destinations that I most likely will go to, which are most of the time pretty accurate. So Tesla probably has somehow increased this suggestion feature or improved it in a certain way. So it's gonna be interesting how Tesla has done it. They have apparently done some extensions to the UI, and I am interested. I hope it just doesn't make it worse for me. We will see once I have the update on my car. And then the last thing that is somewhat related to navigating, which is however not important in a lot of countries in Europe, maybe even not important at all for Europe, that is the automatic HOV routing. So basically the diamond lane, the lane where you have a lot of people in the car. And apparently they have done improvements here that basically the car is now getting smarter on automatically detecting when you have the right to use those diamond lanes. I guess they're gonna use the interior camera to figure out how many passengers inside, of course the time and everything. So they have done some navigation improvements when you are eligible to use those lines. Of course I cannot try that out myself, but we have to see it for the people in America if they like this automatic improvement, because the feature was already available. However, you had to manually select if you could, like if you were allowed to use those lanes or not. And then one major thing that is important for navigations, however probably still unimportant for me, and that is that Grok is now becoming part of the Tesla system by being able to basically add navigations, and not just one, it is able to navigate apparently.
Hey Grok, I want to go on a tour of San Francisco. Can you take me to the Ferry Building, Pier 39, and Golden Gate Park?
Heading to the Ferry Building first, then Pier 39 and Golden Gate Park. Should take about an hour total with traffic.
However, it says also here that it's only working when you set Grok to assistant. And that's kind of weird because yes, it is like a different mode, like the way Grok talks to you. And I kind of understand that Tesla wants to have like the different options, that you have like the assistant that helps you, but I don't really see the point of having like an option of Grok that is just like fully away from your car. Maybe there might have been some issues or something with like the Grok 18 Plus mode or something, that when you set something that Grok would have done too much in your car, that might be like a risk. Just imagine you could say like, hey Grok, disable my airbags, and then it disables them. You know, that's things you don't want to have. Still not the capability that you can say, hey Grok, can you increase the temperature by 2 degrees Celsius or 5 degrees Fahrenheit or whatsoever. It is gonna be probably like step by step, but it is okay. Better to make minor improvements instead of pushing everything at once and then nothing works. However, like I said, it is not expected that Grok is coming to other countries. Maybe it still could come, however it was not specifically mentioned on the Tesla announcement. There might still be a minor chance that they're gonna push it out. We have to wait. But just having the option to ask Grok while driving is a nice thing. So I would love to have Grok in my car, to be honest. Then we have a minor, but at the same time also very big update, and that is that the charging limit can now be set individually for different chargers. And I mean, that is pretty cool when you're just driving to different locations. For example, you have one at home, you have one at work, you might use separate chargers. I think that is pretty convenient if you have like different cycles, different charging routines at different locations. But at the same time, it would also be cool like if you have the option to have it set for different days. You know, like when you, for example, say, hey, from Monday to Thursday, I only want to charge my car at work to like 50-60%. However, like on Friday I want to charge it to like 80 or 90% or even 100% because it's going to be the weekend. Things like these, you know, that would be an even better improvement. However, I can understand people that have a lot of different charging solutions have the option now to set this, and this is nice. Of course, you always have to see how accurate it is. Maybe it doesn't like fully figure out the destination based on the GPS signal. We have to see, but I definitely like the feature. However, it is not going to be that important for me. Now we have two updates that I think are very good. I really love it. First of all, your car now makes a chime, makes a noise when you have left your phone inside. And this has happened to me multiple times, that I left the phone on the charger and I was like going to a supermarket, and then I was like going towards the supermarket and I was like, why does my car not lock? I'm waiting for the sound, and then I realized like, oh yeah, because my phone is on the charger and still inside the car. So I went back, grabbed the phone, and now Tesla has done this feature that you can have this chime playing. We're gonna see how good it is. I'm very curious what sound is being played. Like, is it gonna be like a very clear and very distinct sound like you have, for example, with the child left detection, or is it just gonna be like some nice like ding or something? I don't know. Maybe you can even change the chime. So we have to see, and I'm very thankful that we have this option. However, this thing requires the ultra wideband, and that is basically only all the refreshed models. So Model 3 Highland, Model Y Juniper, and the Model S and the Model X, so all the ones from 2021, I think. This is unfortunate for all the older Tesla drivers because this is a very important feature, I think, and it's unfortunate that they were not able to figure out a different solution that is not that dependent on the ultra wideband. At least for now, maybe they can make it happen in the future as well. And the second phone feature that Tesla has included, and oh my god, I am so excited, you can finally decide if you want to enable or disable your phone chargers in the car, like the inductive phone chargers. And that is truly incredible because I have noticed myself that it feels weird driving with my phone in my pocket. Not because I always want to have access to my phone and like respond to messages or something like this, but especially like when you're like meeting up with people and you're not using the messenger and instead like WhatsApp or whatsoever, like Tesla doesn't show up those messages. And when you have the phone in the charger but you don't want to charge, you can at least see, okay, they have responded or something like this. And then you can decide when it's safe to like take at least a little look or whatever. And at the same time, you have those beautiful placed spots there where you can put your phone, but sometimes you just don't want to charge your phone. And especially like with your car, when you have already like 80%, then you don't want to put it there because it's already at 80%. Yeah, so what I have learned basically is putting the phone sideways so that it is laying there but it's not charging. But having the option now to disable this, I'm really excited, and this is a very good feature, even though it is still minor, of course. Whew, so many updates. That is really crazy, and I think I need a break talking about updates, and that is the perfect time to ask you if you are in need of a new Tesla and you want to experience all those crazy Christmas update features, to use my referral link right up there when you are in need, because not only do you support me by giving me some free supercharging kilometers, you also of course get your own incentives. May it be also free supercharging kilometers or miles, may it be some free Force of Trying trial months, or even a few $1,000s off as a discount. And if you're not in need of a Tesla but still you want to support me and my journey in Sweden, feel free to use the QR code right down there or the link in the video description to buy me a coffee and support me in a different way. Thank you very much, and now let's go back to the updates. Something else, also very minor update, but at least now something that I can also use, and that is a UI update for Spotify. If you are a user who uses the playlists a lot, then you have noticed that after 50 songs or something like this, you have to type number 2, page number 2, to go to the second slide or second page of your playlist songs. And this is very frustrating because, when you want to find an older song and you always have to not just scroll tab, it just takes a lot of time, especially when it's a song that is far down. But now they have improved it, that you can have basically an endless scroll, so that you can finally scroll through the one playlist without having to always go to the next section of this playlist. Something else that they have included for the Spotify is now also that you have the option to basically add a song to your queue, to your song queue, based from the search menu. So you can just search and then press add to the queue, because as of right now, and I have also noticed it sometimes, which is kind of annoying, when you have a song in your mind and it's too hard to find in your playlist, or you don't even have it in any playlist, then you search it, but you want to finish the song that is playing right now, then you always have to wait till the song to finish and then tap it. Very minor, but very good feature, at least for me, who is a Spotify user. Unfortunately, we still don't have any lossless, how Spotify calls it, or any high definition sound support for Spotify. Nothing for that, unfortunately. Then another update for the dashcam viewer, and that one is actually a really good one, because now when you save a dashcam, you don't only see what your cameras saw during that moment, you also get information of your speed, of your driving direction, like forward or in reverse, and also the information if autopilot, full self-driving or whatsoever was enabled. Especially seeing the speed is a very, very cool feature, because sometimes when there's really like an accident or you're like close to an accident, it is good to have like the option to see what is the speed. However, I am very curious, when you store the stuff on a USB stick and then you take the USB stick to your computer, is it also stored on the video, like added, or is it just somewhere in the metadata that you have to extract? I don't think it's going to be added on the video clips that you save. I think there has to be some hidden data somewhere that Tesla is, like, of course, storing also on the USB stick. Let's talk about another update that I think is pretty cool. I am definitely gonna think about this, and that is custom wraps for your car. And I have to say, I am personally a user who has left the car color like it is original. So I have a white car, and my car in the screen is also white, because it feels wrong to change the color in the car to like something that I wish I had, because it is not reality. However, having custom wraps that I probably would never put on my car in real life is kind of cool. And what we can expect is basically similar to what the Cybertruck got last year. So you have like different textures, and you can even create your own ones, then put it on a USB stick, plug it in, and put it on the car. And because I don't have a Cybertruck, I am very curious how many predefined options are there from Tesla, and how good are they? And of course, like, how good is the editor? Because I think I will spend at least half an hour or an hour even on designing like the perfect car, at least in the car itself. If I find a very cool skin basically online and I want to use it, then of course I put it on the car, and I'm probably also going to make a video how to do that. But yeah, we have to see what Tesla is throwing out here, but I'm very excited for this, because it seems like a minor thing, but you see your car so many times while you're driving, and changing that visualization makes a big difference. And also you can now actually edit your traffic license, so you can write something funny or even add your real one if you want to have more realism. And I like that. Minor updates, but very cool ones. Then something else that I am also curious and a bit skeptical is there's an improvement to the light that is synced with the music. So when Tesla announced that feature like a few months ago, it sounded really cool, but once you tried it out in the car, I was like, nah, that's not that cool. And now they have added the option that it is going through different colors. And I am very curious how good that is, because it says rainbow rave. So first of all, it is only capable while parked, which is already sad, to be honest, because I want to have this option when driving, not just when parked. But maybe there are some regulatory issues or whatsoever. But okay, so let's think about the coolest feature, and that would of course be if it says rainbow, then you have multiple colors playing through while listening to the song. You know, like you see a different color basically at a different spot of your car. What I expect, however, instead is that it goes from one color to another. So basically like the whole ambient lighting is green, then it goes to blue, then it goes to red. That is what I'm expecting, but the other would be cooler. And you have different like colors at the same time, and then they move and stuff. That would be cool. But I'm not expecting this, because I already expected way too much before, when this feature was even introduced with the whole light sync. Talking about features that are synced to music, that is also the perfect time now to talk about the light show. Of course, just like last year, Tesla has introduced a new song and a new light show called Jingle Rush. I'm probably gonna like play it out once to see how it is, or at least watch a YouTube video. But yeah, it's always a nice addition to have this. Like, it's of course nothing special, but Tesla has done it every year, so it is fully acceptable. And at least once it is nice to check out this light show. But Tesla not only added this song, they also did some other improvements. Apparently now you have even more options to customize your own light show, make it even longer, have like more controls of the interior, like ambient lighting or whatsoever. So that sounds pretty cool. I myself have like checked out a custom light show last year, and that was already very impressive. And of course, I also want to see what now the community is capable of creating with these more advanced options. So that's a good one. It's a very long video today and we're still not done, but now Christmas, of course, is also related with Santa, and Santa mode finally got an update. They have basically now used the Tron mode as a reference. They have updated the whole visuals in the Santa mode. It looks more 2025 Tesla instead of like 2017 or 2016 Tesla. And I am very curious, of course, to try it out. Maybe they also have done some changes to like the sounds, just like with Tron mode, with the blinking sound. And yeah, we have to play it out, a new Santa mode with better visualizations. Sounds pretty neat. I'm very excited to check that one out for Christmas. Before we go to the features that I'm not really like caring too much, there's one interesting thing that Tesla has added, and that is a SpaceX ISS docking simulator. So basically a new game. I'm first of all very curious who has created this. Is it like a Tesla in-house production? Is it like an external gaming studio? I definitely am curious to try this one out. I can imagine that they have like probably some nice sound effects with the car, and especially if it's Tesla made. I could see that they could even implement like the ambient lighting or something just to make it like feel really cool. We have to see, but I'm curious for this ISS SpaceX docking simulator. Now to the minor updates that I'm not too excited about. First of all, we have a new toy basically, and that is the Tesla photo booth. So now you have the option to use your interior camera to make basically like a photo with all the people in your car, or just with yourself and your dog or whatsoever. And you can put some stickers on there, some emojis, and you can just have fun. I see this also like one of the features, just like the farting, that you maybe like do once or twice, especially when you have kids, but it gets probably pretty boring after a few times. That's what I'm expecting. But still, hey, I am always down for having more stuff to play around in your car as well, because you spend a lot of time in the car. However, I expect this feature only to work while being parked. And yeah, we're gonna try it out for sure when I have this update, but yeah, nothing I like am excited about too much, at least right now. Something else that I'm not using because I don't have a dog is the dog mode live activity. So basically now when you have your dog in the car, you activate dog mode and you go grocery shopping. You're gonna have like a little iPhone, for example, pop up that shows you like the camera feed and the temperature, and you can see what your dog is doing basically without the need of always going in the iPhone. Very, very useful feature for dog owners and or other pet owners. Good to have for the people that need it, but nothing that I have, at least for right now. You know, maybe in the future I'm gonna have a dog or whatever. Then we have one more minor update, and that is now that this light cycle lock sound that you had during Tron mode is now available as an option for your car's lock sound in general. So they have basically moved it out of the Tron mode in the whole car system. Apparently people wished for it, so it's nice to have for the people that had this wish. Wow, and there we are, guys. That was a lot of things, and I hope I have not forgotten anything that was announced. However, if you have noticed, I also made a prediction because it was everywhere in the news. CarPlay is not coming to Tesla. There is the speculation that maybe CarPlay only comes to robotaxis, to the Cybercab, and that one makes sense for people who are like not used to the Tesla space. I really expected Tesla to bring the CarPlay. However, it's not like that I needed it. It was more the curiosity. If they do it, I want to try out CarPlay to just have like a good comparison, because like I said, I've never used CarPlay myself. So either it was all just speculations for nothing, or it is just not the whole reality and Tesla is working on it, but in a different way. Yeah, guys, okay, wow. This is amazing. I am very, very excited for this update. Like I said, the most excited I am about this 3D Tesla charging side, like a view. especially then also the phone features and just other minor things that I already forgot right now because it's too much. And I of course also expect that there are some other things that we just don't know yet that are coming up. That is it. What do you guys think about Christmas update 2025? Is it better than the Christmas update from the last years? Is it like somewhere in between? Give me your ranking down below, and what is your favorite feature for this update, and also what is the feature that you expected but that was not part of this update, at least by the announcement that we have as of right now. Okay guys, with that said, I hope you have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and we're gonna see each other back in the next video. But until then, bye bye.